everybody. This is Eyal Levi with URM Academy, Nail the Mix, and I'm going to unbox Mark of the Beast by Emmure, which was on Nail the Mix in July 2017. This was mixed and produced by Wizard Blood with engineering by Jeff Dunne. And before I get going, let me just say that this is one of the most intricate Nail the Mix sessions ever, and especially for those of you Cubase users out there who want to improve your Cubase skills. You know, I'm using Pro Tools for the unboxing because that's what I use, but Jeff Dunne and Wizard Blood use Cubase, and the level of detail they went into about using Cubase is just unbelievable. So just wanted to say that. Let's get into it. Let me show you what we got. We got drums, bass, guitars, vocals, and some synth and effects. And as per usual with these unboxings, as you can see, no plugins and very little leveling. And let's get into it. Now, I'm fairly certain that these are programmed drums, but they are very, very greatly programmed drums, which I'll show you why in a moment. Now, this is a band that doesn't need to program drums. They have a guy named Mark Castillo playing for them, which is one of the best drummers out there. One of the hardest hitting drummers, too. I mean, this guy hits so fucking hard that this one time that I was recording him, I heard a loud crash, and he was like, come in here, come in here. So I left the control room, and I thought he had like knocked something over or wasn't sure. He broke the fucking cymbal stand in two because he was hitting it so hard. I've never seen anything like that. It didn't just snap apart at like a joint. It snapped apart in one of the solid metal pieces. The guy is a fucking beast. I'm pretty sure that the reason that they went with programmed drums was 100% time consideration. But these are great. All those intricacies and little dynamics and details are fantastic, but the thing to keep in mind is that this is all totally playable, which I think is one of the things that is really, really necessary if you're going to use programmed drums on something. You have to make sure that it's something a drummer can actually play and that feels realistic. And, you know, aside from that, this has got great, great groove. The sounds are good, and obviously you can enhance them with your own samples. But, I mean, this is about as good as it gets for programmed drums. A kick, snare top and bottom, 4 toms, hat, ride, splash, crashes, chinas, and then overheads for the shells, brooms and shells far. I'll let you hear what they sound like. The rooms are super important for this, clearly. So this isn't like a traditional overhead setup. You have every single cymbal separated out. So you've got the crashes, the chinas, the hats, and the rides. So it makes more sense to play these together. If you don't, you're not going to be able to really work this because we don't have like a basic overhead track. But it's fine. I mean, when you listen to it all together, then you add these rooms. Yep. All right. Moving on to the bass DI. Now, let me talk about Josh Travis for a second. Josh Travis is it's not new anymore, but the latest guitar player in Emmure. And this is a guy that friends of mine had always told me was just like a monster on guitar and just somehow figured out this massive tone and no one could figure out what it was. And I remember a situation like that when my band used to tour with the Acacia Strain, that a guy named DL in the band who had this crank amp, quad stack, and his tone was just fucking monstrous. But he had nothing special running through it. We couldn't figure it out. We couldn't understand what it was, and just some guys just have the touch. This Travis Smith guy, like, he is just a phenomenal riffer, just a phenomenal guitar player. And I'm pretty sure he played the bass too. That's why I wanted to talk about him. See, so when you hear the bass by itself, you might be like, why is it so distorted? But because there's some dirt on that DI for sure. It sounds like something was kind of clipped. But when you hear it with the drums, it actually sounds great. It just adds this, I don't know, this aggression that wouldn't have been there otherwise. And I mean, let's be real, you're going to distort this bass anyways, right? So not a big deal if there's a little distortion, a little grit on the bass DI coming in, especially for this, because this kind of music is pure aggression. You know, it's all about power and aggression. And the more that you can get that power and aggression into the raw tracks, the better off the end result is going to be. Great low end on that bass too. All right, let's check out these rhythm guitars. All right, you could just tell right there what I'm talking about. You just hear just how much force and just like how percussive those guitars are. I mean, if you've been watching these unboxings, you know that some guitar players have that and some don't. And I mean, you can still get a great mix, even the guitar player doesn't have that, but when they do have that, life is so much better. Oh, and I believe that he tracked all the guitars for this album in 2 hours, something like that. It was like in an insanely short amount of time. And one taked most of it. And you might be saying, yeah, but he's just playing simple stuff. Like, these are open notes. What's the big deal? Well, I'd like to hear you try to play this kind of stuff with this precision, this percussive, and with such badass tone. Like, if you can do it, more power to you. But I've recorded a lot of guitar players who can, sweep you under the table, who can't pull off rhythms that sound like this. And it's like the whole Pantera walk thing. Or AC/DC Back in Black. How many times have you heard people try to cover those songs and just fucking ruin them? Just do a horrible, horrible job with those simple ass riffs. And it's because, yeah, maybe they're simple in terms of notes, But in terms of execution, you got to get that nuance just right, and the power and the feel just right. And that is the hardest part. And the tone, of course. That is the hardest part. It's way harder than just playing the notes. So to any people who are saying, oh, it's just opens or it's very simple, I would like to hear you. You can hit me up. I'd love to hear it. Send me some rhythm tracks of you playing. Single take also, because these are pretty much single take. No edits. And I want to hear you play riffs like this with this level of precision and percussiveness, tone, and power. All right? That's the challenge. You can hit me up. You can find me on Facebook. Just say, Emmure Challenge Rhythm Guitars. Boom. All right, so we'll add the bass in under that just so you can hear just how tight it is together. That is so tight. Badassery. You don't have to play a lot of notes to be badass. I didn't talk about this, and sorry, I don't normally do this, but I'm doubling back to the drums real quick. All right, these are programmed drums. Do you know what level of skill it takes to get drum rolls and military marching parts to not sound stupid? And literally, to not sound stupid. It takes a lot of skill. And that's why I was saying this is a great example of programmed drums, like velocity work, detail work. This is, and I believe that Travis Smith, actually the guitar player, programmed these. And it just goes to show what a phenomenal musician he is. But it takes a lot of work to get snares that are programmed to sound this dynamic and this good. This does not just happen. And again, kind of like my Emmure guitar challenge, try programming a part like this yourself and see how it comes out. Awesome. All right. Let's move on to the vocals. Well, no, we got a guitar lead. Let's see what that's all about. All right, that's just cool. Kind of reminds me of old Korn a little. It's awesome. All right. Let's hear what we got vocal-wise. From what I understand, Frankie, the vocalist, is one of these guys that just also comes close to one-taking things, and he just sounds evil. Like, his voice just sounds evil. Like, this is what he sounds like.
What more can I possibly say? I've got a brother beyond of what you thought I'd be. It's so surprising me you just can't relate. The depths I fall and you will never be able to take. But if you think you can, then step on the path. First you see it, then you don't believe it.
And that's basically what the vocals are like. Pretty evil sounding. I like this part. Oh shit, what's this going on? Ticks? That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn these up a little bit just so that you can hear them in context a little better. This is what I'm talking about. This is some good production shit. They're a lot louder than they're supposed to be in the mix. You know, on the episode, you'll hear how they actually use these. But they go throughout the song. I'm going to enlarge the waveforms a little just so you can see better. It just adds motion to the whole thing. Let's hear. So we got in this intro, we got ticks, a distorted pad, a saw lead ambient. Let's hear it with the bass drop. And it sounds like this lead, this saw lead right here actually, it's matching this guitar. That's cool. Yeah, when you blend stuff like that together, it takes it out of the realm of just being like a guitar line and turns it into just something ethereal or spooky sounding. It's cool. It's very cool. It makes it recognizable. What's this?
Satan was God and God was...
All right. These are the samples.
Satan was God and God was... Satan was God and God was...
This has all kinds of cool samples in it, you know, like stuff taken from movie, TV show, I think, or maybe they recorded it themselves, I'm not sure. All kinds of percussion tracks, cool synths, and obviously bass drops and things like that. Let's hear what's here. All right. Let me just say again, this was originally on July 2017 down the mix with Wizard Blood and Jeff Dunne, and it is one of the most intricate Nail the Mix sessions we've ever had. It's it's an exercise and just a deep dive into what intricate production is, as well as how to make programmed drums sound amazing, and just an exercise in aggression and power, and how to bring that on mixes. And then, all that aside, if you want to get better at Cubase, that session is for you. So, if you like this, you're interested in checking it out, just click the link below. I'm Eyal Levi. I've been unboxing Emmure's Mark of the Beast, and happy mixing.